You're going to win today against Chorley in the FA Cup to see yourself into the next round. What did you make of today's performance?
Yeah, I thought the boys were excellent. Obviously a little bit of a break from the league against a really tough opposition. I think Chorley, obviously they're up there in the league for a reason. The boys really wanted to show how much the game meant to us today and how much it meant to South Shields. We really want to try and put a run together. And yeah, we started the game really well. We got a lot of control. We got the goal deservedly. I think we maybe could have had one before that, but we got the goal deservedly. And I think once we got the second one, we maybe started coming off our structure a little bit, but we managed to get through to half time, and then we just asked the boys to give us more. So we just needed more. We didn't want to just finish the game with sort of having sterile possession and seeing a lead out, because I always think that hurts you. We wanted to really attack the game and try and go for more and put a third goal and the fourth goal on, and I think we had a lot of opportunities to actually score more goals, and it's really pleasing because that's a really good opposition that we've had that performance against today, but obviously we'll play them again next week, so it's going to be even harder and we're going to have to work even harder.
When you say about that second goal, about the lads coming off it a bit, why do you think that is?
I just think sometimes you play the scoreboard, and I think that comfort of having a 2-0 lead gives you like a license to play passes what you wouldn't normally play, and I think we fell victim of that. So we broke through their press like really well at times, and then we were so keen just to try and go and score a goal or try like a World Cup pass or whatever you want to call it, when the moments were right, just to keep doing what we were doing and keep moving the ball. So I do think at times, listen, it happens throughout football, you start playing the scoreboard and you start trying things what aren't necessarily the right thing for the game, but you feel like you can because the scoreboard kind of gives you that comfort. And I just think when you do that, you start to lose the game a little bit and it starts coming away from you. So it was important that we addressed that at half time and we just got back to what we were doing really well. And yeah, I thought we hurt them a lot in the second half.
There was a shout for a handball in the first half. I think the whole of the first crowd sort of erupted and thought that it was a handball. How did you see it?
It's tough because you just see it in that moment. Like, I'd have seen a ball hit a hand and I'd seen his hand move. The referee said that it was his hand was in a natural position. So listen, it's hard for referees. I think it's really tough. You're not going to get all the decisions. I thought the officials were really good today. And yeah, sometimes you get them ones, but sometimes you don't. And we got the penalty not long after that, which we deserved and was a penalty.
4 goals today: Jenkins, Dodds and Blackett. How do you think they took their goals?
Really well. Jenkins especially. Obviously the way we worked the ball was really good. The penalty's pleasing as well because we come under pressure and then we play the spaces behind, and Blackie's electric, gets onto it really well. Doddsy cuts inside and it's a great finish with his weak foot. So all really good finishes, and then we actually probably scored the ones that were harder than the chances that we missed. We had some really, really good opportunities, and we have to be cleaner in them moments and more clinical with our finishing. And I keep seeing it every week. It's sometimes you just got to check yourself and remember how early we are in the journey, and we will get better and we will take a lot more pride with everything we do in the final third, but we're so early into it. But listen, I can't ask any more of the boys. They're being amazing in training, they're learning all the time, they're always asking questions, they want to get better. We talk about every single day, like, you have to work to reach your potential in life, whether it's in football or away from football. We all have to try and do everything we can every day to reach our potential, and they come in and they give everything to try and do that, and that's all we can ask.
And just before the 80th minute mark, the goals were coming thick and fast. You know, we scored 2, they scored 1. Do you think that's down to sort of the game opening up? You could see the game opening up a bit more, but us coming out on top on that, do you think that's down to the hard work the boys put in on the training field?
Yeah, like, you can see how fit the boys are, you can see how much they're willing to run, the desire that they've got to run, and the desire they've got to want to score goals, but also to defend. So when we lose the ball, you see 10 players just sprinting back to try and stop the opponent from getting near our goal, and I think their goal was probably preventable from our point of view. But then again, we faced that adversity, and it's a moment where the game can become a little bit twitchy for everyone, but we don't allow that to happen, and that's because our mentality is so good, and we're just like, no, we know how to cope with these moments because we've had them before, and there's going to be some really tough moments throughout the season, we know that, and it's just really pleasing to see how we deal with them tough moments during the game.
We play Chorley again in the league next week. I've just spoke to Jenks there, and he sort of sees it as a bit of a disadvantage. He thinks that they'll go away, look at it, come back a better side. How do you see that?
Yeah, probably the same as Jenks, to be honest. I think they're going to come. Obviously, they're going to know how good we can be, which will in turn make them just work harder and try harder. And ultimately, I always think when you play 2 games back to back against the same team, it's really hard anyways. But yeah, especially with that result today, they won't want a repeat of that. So they're going to be working really hard in training. They're going to be trying to sort of answer questions and solve problems that we gave them today. And it's our responsibility as coaches to try and preempt that and listen, make sure that we do more as well. And I think they're a really, really good side with really good coaches as well. So we know that it's going to be so difficult next week, and we have to make sure that we give everything this week, and training has to be almost perfect this week.
How do you overcome that, and how do you go away and sort of determine how you're going to go about that?
Well, ultimately, it's the same a lot of the time. Like, we have to work better at us. So what we do has to look better all the time. There's stuff today what we can do even better, but we have to work out solutions as well. So second half, they give us some problems in the press, so we have to kind of work out how we can get better in their moments. And ultimately, at the minute, I really want to focus on us as much as what we can, because we're not close to where our potential is going to be. So it's really important that every day we need to know what us looks like in every single segment of the game. So whether that's build up, whether that's us like creating chances, or whether that's finishing chances, out of possession, transition. There's so much to do in set pieces as well. But ultimately, it all comes down to having that desire to want to work, and that's what we've got in the changing room, and that's what's the most important thing. Because if we don't have the culture and we don't have the desire, then none of the other stuff matters. So that's really, really important that we've got that.